Hey Siri, what's the weather like in Stockholm?
It's currently partly cloudy and 3 degrees in Stockholm, Sweden. Temperatures will be fairly consistent, averaging about 2 degrees.
Sväng vänster till Hårvägen, sedan sväng vänster till Lofviksvägen.
So we're in Sweden. We're just outside Stockholm in a place called Tareso, I think it is. And we're just woken up in our little cottagey thing where we stayed last night. It's very pretty. We got in quite late. It just took us quite a long time to get here from the airport. And the only option was like standard taxi, which then tried to overcharge us. And the card didn't work and it took forever. So actually by the time we got in here, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. So now we're just basically getting up and getting ready, and then we're going to go and have breakfast and essentially meet our hosts. And then we're going to travel into Stockholm and do a bit of sightseeing.
If it wasn't for daylight savings time, we'd be on the same time.
We would. They're just still in winter. So they get breakfast. Noms. Right, can you tell me about the SL ticket app?
So if you go to information, because obviously some things aren't necessarily clear, you can go to information and they give the most passive aggressive answers to all of these quite simple questions that some simple people might not do. So how do I buy a ticket? Select buy ticket in the menu and the ticket you wish to buy. Then press the buy button.
You idiot.
How do I know my ticket is valid? The time the ticket is valid is visible on the ticket. When the time is over, the ticket will be marked as expired. I'm not always connected to the internet. Will my ticket work offline? Yes. Full stop. If you order the ticket when you're online, the ticket will work when your phone is offline because it's controlled by a timer that starts when the ticket is ordered.
You useless cretin.
So we are currently waiting at the bus stop for a bus. And then that's going to take us to the nearest underground, well, it's not metro, I don't know what it is here. And then we're going to the open air museum. It's a good day for it today.
So here in Sweden they use a third rail for power like they do in the UK. But because the Swedish are more evolved, they've discovered that the best way to stop your trains getting messed up when it snows is to put a little roof over the third rail. Simple and brilliant. Now why the hell can't they do that in the UK? So we have arrived in central Stockholm. We're on the Museum Island.
Yeah.
Apparently that's what it's colloquially known as. And we're on our way to the oldest open air museum. The world's oldest open air museum, sorry. And it's a beautiful
Look at that.
blue sky day. And it's actually pretty warm. So even though it said it was going to be like 3 degrees or whatever, according to Siri, it's now 9 degrees. And I feel like I've overdressed. Okay, so we are at Skansen, which the information that we have is that it's the oldest open air museum in the world. And it's basically just a big rock in the middle of the island that we're on. I don't know what its historical significance is. I guess it was just a place, yeah, I guess it was just a useful place to make a museum. I don't know. Perhaps it was a fort or something, I don't know. But there's like supposedly a whole bunch of like Nordic architecture through the years and various other interesting things to see. So it's quite a big area. So we came in there and we've just walked up to here basically. So this is like the historical part. So Rach just actually made a very interesting point, which is that if you look at the architecture around here, it looks very much like the American West. And actually there was a little placard down there which was explaining that the dream was for a lot of these people to move to America and make their fortune. So you can definitely tell how the Scandinavian architecture kind of influenced American architecture. Like this looks like a classic American barn, so there's probably no coincidence there because a lot of those people came from Scandinavia. So these windmills have actually been saved from another part of Sweden and brought here as an example. They date back in design to medieval times, and they were used in winter when the wind was strong to grind corn. And they have like a long arm at the back where you can turn it into the wind, and the whole thing is supported on one single post. Pretty cool. So we're now on our way to the Vasa Museum, which is a museum of an old sailing ship which they dredged up from just outside Stockholm in the sea, and essentially it was a massive screw up. Basically they built this amazing ship, but it was top heavy, and they ended up turning over just outside of Stockholm, and it lay on the bottom of the sea for years and years and years, and eventually they got it back up again. So from down here you can really get a sense of how massive this ship is. It is huge, really big. We just watched a video about basically the making of the ship and what happened to it, and it's actually older than I thought. It actually dates from around the 17th century, so about the 1600s, and it didn't capsize, which is what I thought. What happened was, as it was sailing out of the harbour, the sails caught the wind and the ship began to list, and as it listed, the water began to go into these lower gun ports, which you can see, and once the water started going into the ship, of course it just sank lower and lower in the water until it actually sank in about 10 minutes. It was completely underwater, so quite an embarrassment for the builders. Really what happened was it was just too tall, not wide enough, and they didn't put enough ballast in the bottom of the ship, so it was very top heavy. Well, that was definitely worth a visit. It was very cool. The building on the outside is pretty ugly, but actually I quite like what they've done, trying to make it moderately ship-like. But yeah, the ship inside is just incredible. Amazing that something like that has been preserved so well from the 1600s. Just mental. Right, we're going to have a go at the sauna, which should be interesting. I mean, when in Sweden, right? So, we have no idea what we're doing, but we have to start the fire somehow. Okay, so he said open this thing.
Yeah.
To get the drawer. Is there like fire lighters or something?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Ah, excellent.
Newspaper, fire lighters,
Nice.
and logs.
Before we sacrifice the newspaper, shall we see what's happening in the local gazette? Dagens Nyheter?
Newspaper?
Nederlag for Theresa May. Hey, i Brexit.
Oh, for God's sake. There's
Brexit is
literally no
everywhere. You
escape.
can't escape Brexit. I wish I knew what they were saying about Theresa May. They must think she's a idiot.
Everyone else does.
But in Sweden particularly, because they're much more evolved. Right, we've had this going for around about 2 hours now, and it should be suitably steamy. Not saying much steam.
It takes a minute. Or you can smell it though.
Oh yeah. Oh, it smells amazing. It's like rain on hot asphalt. Oh, that's so good. I never thought about what a sauna would smell like, but that smells amazing. Oh yeah, you can feel it. It's getting nice and humid now. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna put the phone down now. And we're gonna basically steam ourselves.
Yeah, can you take my glasses out?
Okay, so we steamed ourselves in the sauna and it was rather pleasant. Never done a proper sauna before. I've been into like a hot room at a spa type thing, but it's not really the same thing because it's all artificial. So it's like a proper water on hot coals type scenario, and it was just, it was really nice. Clears out your lungs too because you're like basically breathing loads of water vapor, so everything feels fresh and rejuvenated now. Highly recommend the experience. Look at us, only our second day in Sweden. We're already taking the transport like a local. Alright, it is day 2 of our
2-day holiday.
2-day holiday. And we are in Gamlastan, which I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of, but whatever.
The tourist district.
We have just dropped off our suitcase, so we don't have to carry that around with us all day. And we are now gonna find some coffee and then just explore the old town, which is really the plan for today, and find meatballs, because that's a vitally important thing to do. That could do. So this is the palace. Pretty much just looks like any palace anywhere in the world. There you go. Fun times. Next. They're everywhere.
Once a scene of a bloodbath, the charming square of Stortorget is now frequented by tourists for its quaint and colourful buildings. Stortorget used to be the political heart of the town until 1732, when the city hall was moved to the Bondeska Palace. In 1520, it witnessed a large execution as the Danish conqueror Christian II had 82 Swedish dignitaries arrested and beheaded here, all those who had opposed his rule. Today, filled with bustling cafes and benches, it's one of Stockholm's greatest attractions.
Here we are approaching the narrowest street in the old town, but it doesn't look that bad. I mean, I wouldn't say that's that narrow. Ah, wait. So on this part of the island, the buildings were all built on land that was reclaimed from essentially out to sea there. And you can see some evidence here that the buildings have subsided a bit. Like if you look at this building here, compared to the other buildings, it kind of leans. And they've obviously replaced the windows, so the windows are straight, but the actual building itself is kind of leaning. And they've shored it up with all these metal retainers, which you can see all over the building. And that is because the whole thing is actually subsiding into the reclaimed land that they got out of the bay there. And here's another example there. You can see it's all straight along this side, but up towards the top end it's gone a bit wonky. We just tried the electric scooter things and they are awesome. So we're going to do them again once we finished at the Medieval Museum, which is where we are now. Currently attempting to find one of the ride-on scooters. Rach has one already. Bye. Weather's looking up though. It's looking nice and sunny. It makes it quite enjoyable to be wandering around the city. It's so bumpy. We couldn't come to Sweden without having meatballs. These do look like decent specimens.
Creamy meatballs.
Creamy meatballs. In quite a nice setting, I have to say, even though we did pay for it. 200 SEK for a plate of meatballs. Damn. Okay, so we've returned our bag again, or picked up our bag. And now we're on our way to the central station to catch the train out to the airport. and then we're all done. Going home. It went quickly, but I think we crammed in quite a lot, to be fair, into quite a short space of time. And Sweden is, well, Stockholm is awesome. Oh, what's going on here? Jesus.
You will not repent before the second coming of Jesus. It will be too late.
Oh no. God botherers. Can't get away from them. So yeah, Stockholm, you are f***ing awesome, I have to say. It's done there.
Survive and sell and buy will give you infection in your skin.
Oh God. Ah, the sound of a wheelie bag dragging along the floor. One of the most beautiful sounds in the world. Really can't beat it. Part of your holiday. Go.
Vasa Museum.
I agree. Vasa Museum is amazing.
Although I love the sauna.
The sauna's cool too. Sweden is every bit as cool as I thought it would be. Like, everyone here is just so friendly and intelligent. Well, everyone we met anyway. I'm sure there are stupid Swedish people, but we didn't meet any. It's a very smooth running, cultured, intelligent place. I approve. Britain could take a lot of leaves out of Sweden's book. I suppose it has its problems as well, but in general, it's just civilized, all the services are good, trains are nice, even the buses have curtains.
And the airport seats. Look at those.
Yeah, exactly. Most airport seats are uncomfortable and hard and horrible. These ones, I mean, you could quite happily put that in your lounge. Yeah, look, more over there. And you've got options. If you want to sit down there, you can sit on one of those, or you can sit on the nice pod chair over there. Or if you want to do some work and charge your phone like we're doing, you can sit at the nice desks with a nice lamp. And this pretty much exemplifies what the whole of Sweden is like. It's just nicely thought out, good quality, intelligent. Pretty impressed with this place. I could live here.